She is a venue manager in Brisbane of the strip club called Showgirls.
You have to know how to hustle. What draws people into you outside is normally what's going to work for you inside of the club.
And you've been in the industry for like quite some time. Have you seen a change over the years?
So I entered the industry when I was 18 and I'm 22 now. So 4 years, and I started off as a bartender. The girls that know how to hustle are always going to be able to make money.
There's such a topic of glamorization to this industry at the moment with social media and everything.
Naked dancing on men is where you want to get paid a lot for that. Like it's a big energy exchange.
Yeah. What's the best way to ask for a lap dance?
The girls that make the most money, in my opinion, are the ones that break customers out of that like rinse and repeat. I'm in a strip club, I'm being hustled kind of like cycle that do make all the difference when you're in the club and you go home some nights with zero. This sales academy is my love child. It's personal when girls aren't making as much money as they could be. The people that look like they just walked out of their mum's basement, like spending like 20K, 30K in a night. And I'm like, where the fuck did you come from?
If you were a dancer and you were having your first night, what would you do prior? What would you do on the actual job and after to ensure that you make a lot of money?
If I was like a baby stripper, like tomorrow, I would say number one,
wow, I feel good. I knew that I would now. I feel good.
Welcome back to another episode of the Spicy Waitress Diaries. Today we're sitting with Belinda. She is a venue manager in Brisbane of the strip club called Showgirls. So welcome.
hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Pleasure. Excited to be here.
So Belinda, you're a venue manager at Showgirls.
Yes, I am. I was working there since February of 2025 and it's been just the freaking best year of my entire life. Like I love that venue. I love this industry with my entire soul. It's the best.
I love to hear that. But yeah, usually it's like a negative sort of reaction, but yeah, that's really great. Is it got any relation with the Showgirls that's in Hollywood Showgirls? Or is it
No, they're completely separate things. So Hollywood Showgirls is, I'm pretty sure it's just like a one-off club in Gold Coast. Showgirls, Brisbane is just the one-off club in Brisbane. I feel like it's kind of like you've got the two pinnacles of those two cities and they're both called Showgirls, which is hilarious.
Yeah, okay, wow. So how is being a venue manager? How many people do you actually manage?
So I kind of managed across the staff and the dancers. We do have a dancer manager as well who's like more dancer oriented. And I'd say that I'm probably more staff and venue oriented, but there's obviously like pretty big crossover. On our dancer roster alone, we have like over 200 girls on the roster at the moment. And then obviously they're not all working like every single week. And then staff, we have about like 15 to 20 staff. So it's a huge team. And then obviously the customers that we get through the door, it's a pretty big club.
What is the vibe of this strip club? Give us a walkthrough.
So I would say that on a Friday and Saturday, it is pumping. Like you've got the 3 stages, one of them spins around like a rotating like stage. You've got the DJ, smoke machines going crazy, strobe lights are everywhere. So it's a very like performative club, I would say. Like there are some clubs that I would describe as like a gentleman's lounge where like you have really long conversations. It's a slower hustle. But Showgirls is more of like a bang, bang, especially on the weekends, or like a bang, bang. It's like high energy, high performance kind of value. So those 40 girls, it does seem like a lot in terms of like if they were just standing around on the floor. But you generally walk out into the room most Fridays and you're like, I need to go on stage. There's no one out here. All the girls are booked. Like, oh my God, I should have called in more girls. So I would say that obviously you get the odd night that's like a bit slow and you're like, oh, probably could send some people home. But normally it's like probably we would need more than 40 girls, but you don't ever want to do that and then get bit in the ass by it.
Yeah. And look, I've worked at a club as well. The club that I worked at, they did over roster and some girls would go home and not make any money.
Yeah.
So it's no good. But how do the girls at Showgirls do money wise? Like, do you guys take a cut or like is it a percentage thing? I know in Queensland it's a bit different to Melbourne.
So definitely there are a lot of girls throughout the week that they don't have great nights in terms of because there are a lot of girls in the club. And I just think with the way the industry is going at the moment, the days of just like sitting around and looking gorgeous and getting booked off the floor, in my experience, we're kind of not really there anymore. Obviously, that would happen occasionally. And if you get that, you're like, yes, God is good. But I would say that in this club, like you have to know how to hustle. Like you have to be going to customers and like being like proactive in like your money making approach, in your hustle approach. So the girls that do leave with zero, majority of the time, obviously people have bad nights, etc. But majority of the time, it's the girls that are always out the back, or the girls that aren't going up to customers, or who are sitting around basically just drinking and having a night out. Realistically, those are the only types of girls that I find are hitting those like $0 nights that aren't making a cent. Everyone else, again, bar having the odd bad night. There's so much money to be made in Brisbane at the moment. And just with the way that the club is structured, it is a chair hire fee. Normally, door fee in Brisbane and Queensland is very minuscule, like $10, $20 a night. And then your chair hire fee is higher. So it's like, like your 35%, 40% kind of situation.
All right, what does the chair hire mean? That's for the clients or for the girls?
Oh, that's for the girls. So it's basically just like your club cut. So it's like, your SP hiring the venue to perform a service, and then it's like the club payout for that.
In terms of hustle tips, you used to work yourself. So I'm sure you have a lot of tips for the girls. Can you share with us?
Absolutely. So I would say that through like every club that I've worked at, through every like position in every club that I've worked at, I think my kind of what I just keep coming back to is I find that so many girls feel like in this industry that they have to have this like fake persona, fake personality, this like crazy stripper like personality. And I find that what works for you outside of the club, like the reason why people are drawn to your presence outside of the club, the reason you have friends, the reason you have partners, the reason you have like sexual experiences, what draws people into you outside is normally what's going to work for you inside of the club. So it's less so like creating this fake personality where you're not actually being yourself at all. And it's more so accentuating what works for you outside the club. It's like theater makeup. It's like you've got everyday makeup, and then when you're on the stage, you put the blush on a little heavier, you put the lipstick on a little bigger. It's like it's what works outside normally works inside as well.
That's such a good way to look at it.
So I entered the industry when I was 18 and I'm 22 now. So 4 years, and I started off as a bartender, have been in every position imaginable, and now I'm on the management end. And I would say that honestly,
Oh, you're 22 and you're a baby. I know. I was like, no, it's been like 10 years. I was just like 7. Yeah, that one. But I shouldn't.
thank you. Very, very lucky. But yeah, I think
I worked hard.
but thank you. So reframe.
Thank you. I needed to be told that.
But I would say that I actually haven't seen that big a change in the industry. Like I think that over the last 4 years, I guess it's been kind of like that typical, like the economy's going down, the market being oversaturated, all of that type of stuff, which I would kind of disagree that the market's oversaturated just because I think that the girls that make money are always going to make money. Like the girls that know how to hustle are always going to be able to make money. But I would have killed to have been in this industry 15 years ago when it was, still kind of, then that would have been beautiful. But alas, here we are.
Make the most of it. But I think you're very right in saying that, like, if you have the resilience and the skill and everything, you're going to make money. But if there's such a topic of glamorization to this industry at the moment with social media and everything, but it might draw and attract a lot more girls in. But I feel like they're not going to last because they don't have the gift of the gab, like
100%. Yeah.
And what you said before about girls coming in and drinking or just being at the back, it's like, would you do that in your normal business? I think that's the biggest thing girls need to be told when they start. It's your business. Don't waste your time. Yes, it can be a party, but it's not a party. Like it is your job at the end of the day, your income. So it's a very good tip that you gave before. I think lots of girls, just don't look at it that way.
It's astonishing to me, like in terms of when, the girls like, are just out the back for like 7 hours or they're absolutely blind drunk. I'm like, wouldn't you rather be at home? Like, why are you here? Like, if you're not here making money, like, I couldn't think of a worse place on this earth to be for free. Like, naked dancing on men is like, you want to get paid a lot for that. Like, it's a big energy exchange.
Yeah.
Like, oh Lord.
How much? How old are those girls usually out the back?
It is either the girls that are fresh 18 that have never stepped foot into a club, or it's the girls that have been in the industry for like 10 years. I find that there is no middle ground. It's either like the baby dancers or the OGs that are sick of this industry and are kind of only in it because it's the familiarity.
Yeah. And you would see a lot of girls come and go, and also like a lot of girls quit the industry. Like I know, because I've been in clubs, I can see a big turnaround of girls. Why do you think that is so prevalent?
I think it's one of those things where, as you said, like this industry is very glamorized, and a part of that is a good thing in terms of, like, I think the taboo-ness of the industry is still very much prevalent, but it's kind of coming to a bit of like a middle point where like it's people are realizing how much money is in this industry and that it doesn't ruin lives and it doesn't like make you a drug and alcohol addict if you do it right. I would say the high turnover is just because people expect it to be very easy money. And they expect to go into this clubs, look amazing, and then they're like, oh my God, here's 10K, I'm with you for the whole night. And they're not actually equipped that this is a sales job first. So obviously you need to, it's a visual industry, I get that, and you have to have deep connection, you have to have good work ethic. But if you can't sell, there's only so far that you're going to be able to go. And I think the girls online see the money counts and they see the movies and all of the things. And they're like, that looks amazing. I have a great pair of boobs. I'm going to make so much money. And I think it's like a false expectation. And then they're hit with the fact that this is an industry that you really have to work in. And you go home some nights with zero. And you're the best hustler in the entire world. You're going to have a shit night and it's going to rock you. And I think we're just aren't aware of that. And you can't be aware of that until you're in the industry. That's what people never talk about. They never talk about the $0 nights.
It's a real like self-reflection when you go home with $0 as well. Like that hurts, you know. You're like, oh damn, really? You never do the club because I was scared of that. I was just like, I don't want to put myself in that situation. But no, we definitely want to teach the girls outside of this. That's why we do have an episode, podcast. And so that kind of leads on to your sales academy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, this sales academy is my love child. We started the Spicy Sales Academy with the girl I was co-managing with last year, who has since gone back to dancing now this year, and the GM of the entire company. So we just had this mutual kind of passion for realizing how much money you can make in the industry and realizing how much money girls are leaving on the table. And I think that when you've been in the industry, for a while and you do see the incredible highs and you do see the incredible lows, for me, it's like, it's personal when girls aren't making as much money as they could be. And then on the other side of that, aren't setting themselves up with that money. Hearing the amount of girls that leave the industry broke and leave the industry with kind of nothing to show for it, like that devastates me because this industry is so amazing, but it can also fucking suck. And you can get some really like shit nights and it can really kind of hit home. And to, number one, not be making the most of it, and number two, not have something to show for it when you do leave the industry, because again, you can't do dancing specifically forever. It's personal. So it's just this cleansing journey of, showing girls, teaching girls those sales skills that do make all the difference when you're in the club. And then also that education about the fact that you can actually set yourself up for life from the back of this industry.
Love that you're a venue manager and you love your job. You want to help the girls. I think that's amazing. You do hear a lot of horror stories about some that aren't like that. And we have mean club managers in Melbourne.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, they're awful. The digital tracker, what does it include? If I was to get it, can I get it?
Absolutely.
What is the digital tracker?
So we, as a part of our first ever program that we launched for the girls, we created these little like physical planners Well, you basically just like track your shifts, track your tips, track your expenses. Very basic, very like just a cute little thing to have on you. A lot of our girls like, hard copy stuff. And then we kind of took that and we're like, all right, we know for a fact girls aren't tracking their income. Like that is a fact. I've done it. Everyone's done it, right? And when you're going for house loans or personal loans or banking stuff, that will be the thing that will fuck you in the end, is the fact that you aren't tracking your income properly under your ABN, you don't have any money to show for it, and then again, you don't actually know, because this industry is fast money in, more often than not with some people, it's fast money out, which again leads into that not having anything to show for it. So this digital tracker is something that we created that literally lives just in your Google Sheets. It is so fast, plug and play. It has every automation known under the sun. Can I like to preface? It is not digital freaking financial advice. Yeah. It's just a tool that we recommend girls use. So basically, it has a whole bunch of tabs. So it's got your 2026 overview. It's got your savings goals. It's got like then a month by month breakdown, expenses planner, tax tracker, everything. So you basically put in what you're earning, you put in what you're claiming, you put in what your expenses are. It tells you, so you'll put in your expenses and it'll tell you exactly like what your break even point is. And then it'll also put in what you've added into your savings. So you could go, I'm saving for a cruise, or I'm saving for a house. And it's got the dial circle, which will like kind of go around and show you how far around your goal it is.
I love that.
It's so cool. I'll literally send it to you. It is so good. I'll literally send it to both of you and you give me some feedback on it. All automated. So you just put in what you earn and the tracker does the rest. It calculates tax as a estimate. And it also, again, you can put in your tax write-offs as well. So you can kind of log in so that theoretically when tax time comes, you've got everything in the one place. And depending on how good your accountant is, you could just send this off to your accountant and go, hey, this is all my information. Do with this what you will. It's like similar to Henry, but...
So is it similar to Xero?
Yeah, so I would say that Xero is obviously like a lot more comprehensive. It's like a real like business tool that like companies use. And it has that ability to kind of like reconciliate things, which is so satisfying to my OCD brain. So this tracker is basically just like a on your end. So you're still keeping all of your receipts, you're still doing everything, but it does allow you to track everything. And it's kind of similar because I know a lot of our girls, we recommend that they also use Henry, which we love. But in terms of this tracker is like anyone can use it immediately. And it's like you have it on your phone. You can even use it to keep track of dances. Like I'm not sure what the clubs in Melbourne are like, but we encourage girls because obviously we keep track of what dances girls are doing throughout the night. And our controllers are amazing and the system's amazing, but mistakes happen. Everyone's human. So we're like, keep track of your dances. So when you're cashing out at the end of the night, you know what you're owed. So a lot of girls are using it out the back, just like log what dances they're doing every night and being like, okay, this much of my money, this was at tips. So it's a really good just back end system for the dancers.
And that structure would avoid girls getting drunk because they want to, once they start tracking and seeing the money, it's a good incentive to be like, oh, I'm actually making money. I need to not be out of it tonight.
100%. And you've also, because a lot of girls, it's shocking to me how many girls are like, oh, like, what's your goal for the night? And they're like, oh, I don't know, I just want to make money. And I'm like, girl. So it's like setting that goal, like whether it's $500, $1,000, $3,000, $4,000 that you want to make in a night and being able to kind of like track how you're actually going in the night to like, oh, you know, I'm tired, but I'm only $200 away from my goal. So I'm going to stay an extra hour or et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. If you were a dancer and you were having your first night, what would you do prior? What would you do on the actual job and after to ensure that you make a lot of money?
Such a good question. So if I was like a baby stripper, like tomorrow, I would say number one, I want to get pretty educated about the industry in terms of how the club that I'm about to work at, how they operate, what the culture is, again, like the laws and legislations between each individual state. I want to talk to people in the industry and I want to go into it from my first night, treating it like a business. So you're walking in and you are just head down, butt up, working, approaching every single customer that you see. So I'm a big believer in like throwing yourself in the deep end.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of, you know, oh, I'll have a drink first and then I'll talk to customers. It's like if you wait, especially with how again, how proactive you need to be about approaching customers. If you wait, someone will talk to that customer. Like it is not a shadow of a doubt. Like you will get pushed out. So you need to be aggressive in the way that you're hustling in terms of just talking to every single person on the floor. I would track my money. I would talk to some of the top earners in the club and figure out like what the hustle style is of the club. Is it a fast hustle? Is it a slow hustle? Is it big on tips? Is it big on like dances in the books? Is it big on like double like 2-girl bookings? Get super educated about what the top earner girls in your club are doing to make that amount of money. And then again, not getting overwhelmed by rejection. Because I think as baby stripper, that would be the thing that would kind of sting the most. So it's like if you get rejected, you're moving on to the next customer. You're not going out the back and like processing. It's like keep moving. Like depression can't hit a moving target, kind of.
Yeah.
And then I would say after your shift, really taking care of yourself after work. I would say something that I do even now after work is like showers are a non-negotiable. Like you fully close the shift. Like you shower off the shift. You're taking off your makeup. You're like eating, your meal prepping, just as you would in a normal job, I would say. And I think that's kind of what I would do if I was starting from scratch again.
Amazing. I love what you said about approaching everyone. Like, I feel like that can be even related to hobbies as well. Not just the club, but literally sometimes having like a blindfold on, not being judgmental and just approaching everyone. Sometimes I have to shake it off of me because I'm like being my normal, not resilient, but like aware, judgmental self in a club environment or a work environment. And I'm like, no, actually, these people are in this venue to pay me. Like, you have to click yourself out of that mindset.
100%. And it's also like yes, there are some customers, they walk in and I'm like, all right, he's got money. It is crazy to me. Like, it'll be the people that looked like they just walked out of their mum's basement. Like, spending like 20K, 30K in a night. And I'm like, where the fuck did you come from?
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, literally. I've been in this industry 5 years. I couldn't tell you. Like, I actually couldn't tell you that the demographic or like the look of someone that's going to spend. It's just, it always surprises. That's why it's such an industry.
It almost kind of works against you sometimes because you'll be sitting with a customer who you've like clocked as like, oh, he has money. Doesn't mean he's going to spend it.
Yeah.
So it's like the amount of guys that are like rich and they're like stingy as hell, and you kind of like you're wasting more of your time because you're like, oh, but he's got a Rolex. Like I know he's rich. It's like it kind of works against you trying to like profile customers into who's going to spend and who's not.
What's your limit with a guy? So, well, first question, like, what do you look at a guy and go, he's got money? And then what's your limit for, all right, this guy's not going to spend? How long would you talk to them for?
Yeah, I would say, honestly, again, it's going to vary from club to club. But because of how many people we kind of get through the doors and just, again, just the nature of like the hustle in Brisbane at the moment, it is a fast hustle. So I personally, if I'm with a customer and after 10 to 15 minutes, I haven't gotten a tip, I haven't gotten it like he hasn't, the topic of lap dances hasn't come up, he hasn't seen me on stage, like there's no movement in terms of like when you're going in for that sell, you can tell if you've kind of got him or if he's just not a vibe. I honestly wouldn't spend more than 15 minutes with a customer at the moment. Obviously, that's going to vary from club to club, and that's going to vary if you're getting tipped or if you're feeling like he's going to be a bit of a slow burn, but you're pretty freaking confident that he is going to kind of push it over the line. Now, if you're getting little wins after like 10 to 15 minutes, I'd probably think about moving on. And in terms of how I identify guys that have money, I'm awful at it. Like genuinely, like I can't pick up to save my life. I would say that my dream style of customer is kind of like the awkward first timer that comes in. I love an awkward first timer.
And you're like,
don't know anything. And it's sell them into that like highest booking because they're normally here for a good time. Everything's normally kind of like shiny and bright. So I love a nervous, awkward little nerd boy first timer. It's the blonde.
What's the best way to ask for a lap dance?
I would say that my thing is like if I could pass a law in a strip club, it would be to like ban the word lap dance from like sales. In terms of, I think when you say, do you want to go for a dance? Or can I take you for a lap dance? customers, when they're coming into the club, they're kind of bracing to be hustled, right? They're kind of like, they've got this bit of a wall, like, oh, I'm going into a strip club. Even though they're choosing to spend their time in the club, they've got that kind of brace. They're kind of almost like anticipating to be hustled. So they're kind of bracing against that. And I think you can build all the rapport and you can be on a really good connection with this customer. I feel like as soon as you say the word lap dance, it kind of pulls them back into like, oh, I'm in a strip club. And like, this is like a dancer in front of me. And I'm being hustled. And it kind of like, it kind of cheapens the moment because I feel like men don't really come into clubs for dances, right? They come in for that connection. They come in to feel powerful or safe or seen or all of that type of stuff. So I would say that my kind of number one tip in terms of when you're going in for that, I guess, hard sell in terms of asking for the dance, my thing is always, do you want to go somewhere a little bit more private? The music's super loud out here. Like, can I steal you away somewhere we can have a little bit more fun? Or, like I want to continue this conversation, but wearing a lot less clothing kind of thing. So you kind of have these like little workarounds. So you're saying, let's go for a lap dance without being like, I'm stripper, you are customer. Let's do lap dance kind of situation.
Is it lots of guys, they don't want the transaction? Is that what you're saying? Like, cut that transaction out, keep the fantasy going, and then as soon as you say that's like money, like you money and you cut into me, you're not in love with
Yeah, it breaks that fantasy. I think you also have to kind of be aware of like, in most clubs, he's probably had a few people come up to him before you, right? Unless you're the first one hot off the mark. So it's like, again, what has he heard 5 times tonight? He's heard, do you want to go for a lap dance? He's heard, how's your night going? He's heard, have you come here before? So it's like breaking him. The girls that make the most money, in my opinion, are the ones that break customers out of that like rinse and repeat. I'm in a strip club, I'm being hustled kind of like cycle.
Yeah. Oh, I love. Yeah. Getting educated on how to communicate. Okay. And so I like those 2 tips. With being a venue manager, what would you say are your top 3 positives and top 3 negatives?
For like the industry or being a venue manager specifically?
You personally, venue manager at Showgirls.
I would say positives, like top 3 positives for me are my favorite job I've ever had, and I massively prefer my position now, but in terms of the most meaningful times that I can remember is actually when I was a controller. And it was because you had those connections with the dancers and you were keeping them safe and you were able to like hustle alongside them. So I love that as a VM, I actually still get to hustle and I get to sell. I get to work alongside these dancers and kind of still live out that, that dopamine sales kind of fantasy.
That's only a Queensland thing. We don't have that in Victoria. Yeah, like we have to do all the hustling ourselves, and if our customers want to extend, then they have to get up and go pay. Like I've worked in Queensland before. You guys come around with like the little F-posse. Like, yes.
And the controllers are on your side. Like when I used to work at my first club, and this club was very different to the one that I'm at now. It was more of a gentleman's lounge, kind of a bit lawless in the way of how that club was operated. But because of how hard I used to go in to sell with these dancers, like the controllers getting tipped by dancers was the norm. And you weren't doing it for tips. It was just like you were genuinely putting in as much work as these girls into getting these bookings. And so it was like, oh, you just got me $400. Here's $50. And they're like, oh, you don't have to do that. And like, no, please. And it was like just this really nice kind of community. So I'm really grateful that that is something that is prevalent in the clubs at the moment. I do get to work alongside these dancers to kind of like get my own little dopamine hits as well. And
So nice.
and I would say like the 2 other positives for me, just how we're getting to rewrite the narrative in terms of how clubs are run, as you said, in terms of like never in my life can I imagine yelling at a dancer or intentionally like making a girl cry or keeping a girl in the club when she has a migraine. Like that to me is insane, but I know it is such a thing in other clubs, and that's been a thing in other clubs I've worked at in terms of management that I've experienced as well. So I would say getting to rewrite the narrative in terms of how management can look in this industry. And then I would say the third one is it never ceases to amaze me how every night is different. And I have a very short like attention span in terms of if I'm not feeling like I'm being pushed and grown, I'm like, all right, on to the next, let's go. Every single night is different, and whether it's different good or different bad in terms of like just crazy epicness or people punching on and passed out, it is always something new, which is something that I value so much in any job. And I would say negatives for me, number one is obviously I internalize a lot in what happens in the clubs and what happens to the girls in the clubs. So when you do get a situation where like the worst has happened to a girl in the venue, kind of being on the front lines for that is always going to suck. And every single person in this industry has had a night where they've gone home and gone what am I doing? Am I in the wrong industry? Is this like a negative space for me to kind of be in? And, you know, we call it like the industry hating nights. Like you get like the ick for the industry sometimes. And then you wake up and you're like, wait, actually I love my job. That was just a shit night. And I would say that probably the other two negatives for me is when I do have to put on the business hat, in terms of when I do have to kind of, whether a girl is like, I do have to have a tough conversation with whether it's a staff member or a dancer who I know is meaning well, but it's not working out anymore. When you do have to have those tough conversations and you kind of have to be like, look, I feel you as a person, but like I have to kind of put company hat on now and we have to have a conversation about XYZ. Hate those chats. I am not a night girl. I have now been used to these for 4 years. And I was hoping that the body clock would work out for me. It just hasn't. And I think it's never going to. And that's okay. But I love my early mornings. Like I wait, you know, when you go home at 5 a.m. and the sun's up, I'm like, oh, what am I doing with my life? Am I up right now? But I would say that's kind of like the juxtaposition of the job for me.
But thank you for sharing. We loved having you on.
That's so fun. Let's have a chat. I really appreciate it.
It's like a little venting session.
Yeah. We'll link your course and your Instagram and your digital tracker as well, so girls can have access to that too.
Yeah, amazing. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching another episode of the Spicy Waitress Diaries. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.